There are many reasons why trauma survivors may struggle with emotional intimacy or close relationships. Growing up, they may have been emotionally abused, and so they didn't learn to develop a robust sense of trust or a robust sense of themselves. Now, how can you be successful in relationships if you don't understand yourself, if you don't advocate for yourself, if you don't have a good sense of yourself, or if you don't love yourself, or if you don't have a good sense of trust, or you don't trust even your own instincts? Trauma survivors have a hard time trusting other people. And if you don't trust other people, then you can't be in a relationship with other people, because trust is the actual bloodline of the relationship. Without trust, there really is no relationship. Think about it. Could you even buy groceries without a certain level of trust for the grocer, or bank anywhere without a certain level of trust for the bankers? Every relationship requires trust, and the more trust there is in the relationship, the closer the relationship is able to be, and the less trust there is, the more distant the relationship is. So we can have trust on a continuum, on a scale. But a trauma survivor may not understand that because they never developed a robust sense of trust. And so they find themselves just distrusting everyone. And so many trauma survivors have attachment issues, and that's what keeps them from being able to have close, intimate relationships. They have a deep fear of being hurt or being harmed or being abandoned. They may be experiencing hypervigilance, avoidance, emotional dysregulation, fear, the anxiety, the emotional instability, the sadness. These things can make it very difficult for their relationship to thrive. And so with those challenges in place, they need to have good coping skills developed. They need to know how to regulate their own emotions. So if you are a trauma survivor and you want to have close relationships, what can you do to overcome all of the constant anxiety, all of the fear that you're experiencing? It's important that you learn to contextualize your feelings. That means that you have to understand that feelings are not supposed to be your guide in life. So even in relationships, it shouldn't be all about how you feel, what you want, what you fear, but actually you need to learn to view the feelings as information that comes from the subconscious mind. More specifically, it's your soul speaking to you, the conscious person. So when your soul speaks, or the innermost person is speaking to you, do you listen? Do you pay attention? Or do you distract yourself by playing games or watching television or listening to music or running away or just running in general or doing something extreme to keep yourself away from just meditating? Mindfulness meditation allows you to take a moment and connect to the inner feelings that you're experiencing. They're very important. Your emotions are a communication from the soul to the self, to you, to let you know that something is violating you or may violate you. Understanding what the emotions are can help you to realize that they are just merely an advisor. Fear is there as a protector, like a bodyguard. But again, your security detail is just there as an advisor. It is not for you to obey your fear. And you're not supposed to obey your other emotions either. You're just supposed to simply observe them, understand them, listen to what they're communicating, and then ultimately you make an informed decision as to what you want to do about the situation. You cannot allow yourself to be controlled by emotions. So picture your fear as a bodyguard, and then picture that your bodyguard sits in the back seat. Ultimately, you are driving the car. It's important to realize that you're the boss, you're the CEO, you're the king or the queen of your life. And it is your responsibility to make decisions and guide your life and to live according to purpose and love, not fear and feelings. You don't want to live according to fear and feelings. You want to live according to purpose and love. Well, is that possible when the feelings are so strong? Well, you may have a desire that's very strong. For instance, If a man looks at a woman and finds her attractive, that may create a strong desire in him, but does that mean he has to act on that desire? Of course not. A person may have an overwhelming desire to hit another person, but do they need to act on that desire? Of course not. Despite your fear, despite your feelings, you have the ability to separate your actions from the emotions. So it doesn't matter if you may have developed attachment issues, or it doesn't matter if you may have trust issues. All of these things are ultimately coming down to fear. So you must allow your fear to exist here as something you observe, and you allow it to inform you. You may feel it in your chest, in your body, but then you ultimately make decisions and actions over here with a separate part of your mind, the conscious mind, housed in the cerebral cortex of the brain. This allows you to operate at your highest self, to be wise in your actions, and now you can make decisions that are based on love and purpose. So seek to find, that is to create purpose in your life, and seek to be guided by love both for yourself and for others in every single decision. Let no decision be guided by fear unless you are in an immediate life or death situation, which is very rare. Allow yourself instead to be guided by love and purpose, and all of a sudden you will see yourself stop sabotaging relationships so much. You will see yourself be able to regulate your emotions better and to make decisions that are for the benefit of yourself and the other person. And when you do make a decision that's detrimental, you can go back, motivated by love and purpose, your vision for the future. And you can apologize. You can say, I'm sorry. I'm overcoming some things. I'm healing. And you can ultimately get your relationship back on the right track with a forgiving partner, and you yourself being forgiving as well. These tools will help you to be able to move forward in your relationships. Again, namely, all of the different issues in your relationships boil down to fear being your guide. Fear and feelings. When you no longer let feelings be the guide, but you are guided instead by the wise mind, calibrating each decision with love and purpose, you will be free. Finally.